You may have noticed that something about Sombra is different from all the other heroes in Overwatch. Her playstyle, her cyberpunk theme, what about her design? There are some very interesting reasons why she might be so different. So let's take a look through the history of her development, uncover some of her influences, and try to figure out the reasons why she might stand out so much. If you follow the behind the scenes of Overwatch closely, you might have heard that early in development, Hanzo and Genji used to be one character. His name was Genji, and he looked like Genji from the waist up, and Hanzo from the waist down. He had a sword and a bow, and his abilities were presumably split between the two. Somewhere along the way, the team at Blizzard thought it would make more sense to split him into two characters, so players can get the most out of the two weapons. These vastly different weapons also made for vastly different playstyles. So, why am I talking about Genji and Hanzo so early in a Sombra video? Well, because even before the concept for this Genji-Hanzo hybrid, there was a female character called Omniblade, a fast and agile stealth assassin with Japanese influences. It looks like she takes on a Neo-Tokyo aesthetic, a modern ninja. Her weapons of choice were projectile shuriken and kunai. That's these things and those things. She also had the ability to throw kunai to reveal enemies behind cover. That ability might sound a little familiar to you. They took this concept of Omniblade and iterated on it even more, as they normally do in video game concept design. In fact, I'm sure that there are many more concepts like this that just were never made public. They took the general shapes of this character's design, but switched to a Mexican theme with the darker skin, this triangle pattern we often see in Mexican textile design, and the green, gold, and beige colors. This is the earliest example of Sombra. It's unclear who created these, but all of the original Overwatch concept illustrations that ended up becoming key art for the game were drawn by Arnold Sang. Omniblade and version 1 Sombra look very much like his style. You can tell by the long legs, short torso, the female head shape, the eyes, even the line work. This all points to Arnold Sang. But after this concept, they decided to cut the idea and use parts of it for Genji and Hanzo. There were some good ideas here. This design could totally be salvaged. So after all of the other heroes made the cut, they decided to take Sombra out of the trash bin and rework her. This task was given to another designer, Benjamin Zhang, under the direction of Arnold Sang. By the way, those two last names sound the same, but they're not the same. One's like a Zhang, and one's like a Sang. I don't know, it's probably not even like that. Anyway, Benjamin Zhang reworked the design to be much closer to what we know today. He changed her from a stealth assassin into a stealth hacker. In case that wasn't obvious enough from the concept art right here. You can tell this concept was conjured up by a completely different artist because of the leg to torso size, the female head shape, the eyes, but also the thick shapes that make up the design. Those eyes are looking very squid-like. But there is still more iteration to be had. Because of the hood and the long coat, the team decided that this design's silhouette matched far too closely with Ana's, another post-release Overwatch hero. Only one girl's allowed to be in the hood at a time. So they iterated even more and came up with the final design that we see now, but I believe still not created by the man himself, only directed by him. He called the shots, and you can totally tell that his influence is pertinent. One eagle-eyed Redditor pointed out something fascinating to me. You see, Arnold Sang is one of the co-founders of Udon Entertainment. If you don't know them, they're a studio focused on Asian-influenced comics and manga. You've definitely seen their stuff before, especially if you're a Capcom fan. Sang worked very closely with Alvin Lee, who you might know from this illustration. Together, they worked on some of the Street Fighter comic series. Sang also worked with Capcom Japan on Capcom Fighting Evolution and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. These names just never end. He also worked on APB. Do you remember APB? I remember APB. Working at GameStop when they closed the servers after only a month of activity, you try explaining to somebody that their $60 game that they just bought just isn't going to work anymore, and it's outside of the return policy. So, this guy likes Street Fighter. Well, this would explain Sombra's haircut. She has the exact same haircut as Brazilian fighter Lara, and her palette is in the exact opposite side of the color wheel. Now, I'm not saying this is an intentional rip. I'm not accusing the guy of anything. It's more likely just a subtle influence. The guy likes Street Fighter. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And there's more influence to be found in Japanese culture. Another eagle-eyed Redditor pointed out her cloaking animation. She moves her hand in front of her face just before she goes invisible, similar to a certain other character in popular culture. No, not John Cena. Go away. Motoko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell. She does the same hand gesture just before her cloaking gets activated. On the same note, one of Sombra's sprays is called Deaf Mute. This is a direct reference to the hacker The Laughing Man in the Ghost in the Shell, whose logo reads, "I thought what I'd do was, I'd pretend I was one of those deaf mutes." The Laughing Man has the ability to erase himself from cameras in real time. He can also hack augmented brains to erase himself from sight. This could be an influence to Sombra's cloaking ability. The design team probably channeled Ghost in the Shell because of the whole cyberpunk hacking augmented body thing. Her character's theme draws great influence from that world. In fact, there are a ton of Japanese influence sparkled all over Overwatch. But you know what? That's a story for another time. So what do you guys think about Sombra's character design and the iterations she's been through? How similar do you think she is to the rest of the Overwatch characters despite her unique history? Leave it in the comments below, and don't forget, if you like this video, you can boop that like button. How would you like to see these videos early, and maybe give us some direct feedback before the video goes live? Well then, you should join the community over at the ShoddyCast Patreon. It helps us cater these videos to you as best we can. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I'm Bob, and I'll be firing out these art videos once a week. If you've got any topics you'd like to see covered, why not send me a tweet over at Bob Wulff, spelt all weird like that. I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a good week.